welcome.
Glad to have everything online and have everybody being able to see the cast here for Overcast episode 005. Can you believe we've made it this far?
Oh, we've come so far, a whole fifth episode.
I know a whole 2 weeks too since the last one, but you know what?
It feels like it's been too long. It
It,
does.
if you see this overlay, you'll know we have come very far. And it is not thanks to me, it is thanks to my wonderful wife, the artist in the family. She made the overlay for us, and inspired by the Overwatch themed website. So very,
Oh,
very nice.
speaking of Overwatch, I
Speaking of
mean,
Overwatch,
I got my track jacket in on Friday, and I've been enjoying the good old swagger here as I unplug my headset and go full wireless.
oh
Oh,
snap, he's going wireless.
oh man, it's a thing of beauty, man. I absolutely love this thing. It's nice, it's comfortable, and it's cheap. I honestly expected to pay a lot more for official Blizzard product, but man, 55 bucks with free shipping, you can't beat that.
Yeah, it was nice, and I'm still waiting on mine. So you are one lucky dog, but it looks sweet. So I can't wait to get mine. This is my
Oh,
turn to get a hoodie, so I got the Overwatch hoodie.
oh man, you will not be disappointed. It's not a hoodie, it's a track jacket,
That's
but
right. That's
hey,
right. It's a track jacket.
yeah, it's nice. It's form fitting. I mean, I'm a small guy, and this is a medium, so it's a little big on me, but eh, whatever. It
Good thing
looks good.
I
My
got
fir
the medium then.
Yeah, no, like for me, I actually wore this out on Saturday, and somebody actually recognized, "Holy crap, you've got the Overwatch track jacket already? What the hell?" And I'm like, "Yeah, man, I got it the day it came out, and it showed up here in like 2 days. It was freaking crazy."
That that is great. That is great. I'm excited for you. I'm glad you can go and sport that, make some people jealous. Hopefully I can sport it. Alabama is not known for being very techie or geeky, so I'm wondering if anybody will even realize what it is when I start wearing it around. But we'll see. I'll tell you if I do.
Yeah, see, I'm in Southern California, so of course you have all the geeks, you have all the nerds, kind of like we just all conglomerate over here, and then all the way up in Silicon Valley as well. So, it I can't go 2 feet outside my house without bumping into another nerd. So hey,
That's the life. And
gotta love it.
perfect. Now, remember you can get a hold of us on our Twitter page, which is at Overcast Show. Also, our blog page, which is theovercastshow.blogspot.com. And also, our parent studio has the links to our YouTube and Twitch page if you're wanting to find any of those. And our other podcasts at frozenfoxradio.com. So glad to be able to join everybody live on Twitch, and as well if you're joining us a little bit later, either as a highlight or on YouTube. And hopefully in the next week or so, actually in the next day or so, I'll create the channel, and then by the time the next show comes up, we'll have our own Twitch channel. Hooray! No more having to run through one that has a name that has nothing to do with the show, really.
Right? So Frosty, tell me what have you been up to the last couple of weeks? I know it's been a little bit since you and I have last gotten a chance to really sit down and talk.
Well, the last couple weeks have been the nightmare of the law school and pretty much every school season. It has been finals. If you're seeing me, I'm alive. I have survived the school year, and my first year of law school is now underway. So I cannot wait for that to kind of just sink in and not have to like think about law school anymore. And yes, I don't know how I did because you don't know when you're going to get your grades, but hey, you know what? I did as good as I could. I'm just going to leave it at that. And
Well,
also, I have a new internship starting tomorrow, so I'll be working as a judicial clerk for the next few months at the local courthouse. So, great experience, and some people I already know work there. It'll be really nice. Apparently, one of my co-students got an internship there too, though they didn't remember who it was. So it'll be kind of a let's let's play the mystery game of who it actually was that I'll be working with.
hey man, that's gonna be a lot of fun though.
Yep. Now, how about yourself? What have you been up to?
Uh, I've been doing a lot of case study for workers' comp law over the past couple of weeks. It's been really, really tough. But hey, it's experience, and I get to learn something new every day, so I'm happy for that. Working in human resources now, coming from an operational standpoint in the company that I work with right now, it's really a new kind of light that I'm seeing on the entire professional world, working with, workers' comp law, human resource law, the 28 different kinds of leave that are in my state alone. It's really It's different. It's very, very different.
Wow.
But I've still been working on my new stream channel, Matrix Overwatch. I'm still looking for a decent graphic designer in order to get some things done for the page. And then
There you go.
once I get that settled, I'll be working on getting a schedule and probably doing a lot of Heroes of the Storm, since that's what I've been playing a lot of lately.
There you go. Yep.
Yeah,
It's
and
the, it's
then
the thing now. So
oh man, it's ridiculous. And then I will of course it'll be Overwatch almost 24/7 once I get my hands on it.
exactly. And now, not to pull you too much out of the gaming world, but I do know that you just recently survived payday in HR,
Oh man,
and that was kind of like your
dude.
finals, right?
Oh, dude, you have no idea. So it wasn't this last Friday, not this one, but the one before that. The one person who I generally do payroll with was put on a forced vacation because she had accrued so much overtime, and well, not overtime, but paid time off that she capped out.
Oh,
So our boss was like, "You need to take a vacation. You're taking these 3 days off." And I just sat there and looked at him, and I'm like, "But I don't know how to do payroll. You're gonna make me do that by myself?" He's like,
oh,
"Gonna have to learn sometime." So I went in about 2 hours early and got out about an hour late. So 11 and a half, almost 12 hours it took me to process payroll for my company. But this
wow.
next week, nobody called and was like, "Oh, my pay's wrong," or "Oh, you didn't give me this." So thumbs up. I survived. I'm
All right.
alive and well and ready to
Congrats.
talk some Overwatch.
There we go. Well, let's just jump right on into it. So, we're gonna go ahead and move into what we found in the news this week, or in the last couple weeks, really, I should say. Now, what you're gonna be seeing right here is something that has been taking, especially the cosplay community by storm, and some other parts of the community just as well. What that is. I'll say is. Now, what we see is there's these reference guides for characters from Overwatch that appeared on the press page, and there's only about 5 or 6 of those, and so we don't have all the characters, all the heroes yet. But right here this is Tracers, and what we have is basically just like a detailed reference of her character. And you'll see here it has close-up shots of different parts of the costume, patches, things like that, even down to the hex codes of the colors themselves that she is wearing. So if you want to be hex code correct, if you're ordering fabric or something, there you go. You're set to go. In
Dude,
the
there is so much detail in these things. It is absolutely mind-boggling. Like you can see the stitching on Tracer's legs. I mean, you could see her jetpack
Yep.
too on the back and the front. Like it's just ridiculous how much information they put into this, and it's no surprise that the cosplayers are just going like, "Oh my God, here we go."
Yeah, they've been jumping on now. They had, and this is my speculation, is that these were documents that they had before because they did have some people internally build cosplay for BlizzCon last year, if you noticed. And I wonder if these were kind of built in way for them, and also just they were just general reference that they had lying around. But some of them match up with who actually did have a cosplay last year. So I found that maybe that's kind of where some of them came from. And there's also even detailed shots of the weapon. So its 3D model is super highly blown up right there. And if you want to go ahead and reproduce that, I'm sure a lot of people are going to be. And Tracer has those cool dual pistols, so it's pretty sweet.
Those pistols look absolutely ridiculous. And then what I actually want to see is how the cosplayers, like a lot of the Tracer, of course there's going to be a lot of Tracer cosplayers. She's one of the most popular characters.
Hmm.
But how they do the time device on the front and back, I think that's going to be ridiculous to see because we've seen over the last few years cosplay really evolve.
Yeah.
So like all the LED lighting effects that people are doing in these cosplays now are just absolutely ridiculous. And
Yeah.
I cannot wait to see come BlizzCon or even Gamescom in August, see what the Europeans can do.
Oh yeah. I'm part of the BlizzCon cosplay group, and I've seen some of the work in progress. And I'll just let you know because I don't want to spoil anybody's stuff, but there's some crazy stuff people have been doing. So you're going to be in for a treat at BlizzCon, or if you're watching the virtual ticket, either way, you're going to be in
I've
for a treat.
seen, yeah, I've seen a couple of cosplays that have already come out. I especially saw one of Widowmaker, that was just absolutely mind-blowing. I was just like, huh. And this was before all of these press kits came out. So
Mm-hmm.
people are already just taking to it. And I, for one, couldn't be happier because that's awesome. That's awesome content for everybody to see.
Exactly, exactly. Now, with that in mind, the I wonder if we're gonna have more of those come out, or if we're just gonna if that'll stagnate. This is from the press release page of Blizzard, so it might just be that was part of a press kit earlier, just to kind of get things out there. But we'll see if they release any more detailed, and especially as more heroes come out. So never know. I would hope that they would because I like the detailed things like that. But maybe they'll hold it back for a collector's edition. I mean, I'm going to buy that either way if they have one. So I'm all in for the
Right.
art books and things like that. And so is my
Mm-hmm.
wife, of course, since she does all this art. So that is it for that. And on to our kind of main talking topic, I guess you could say, of the show for today. And that is possible pay models for Overwatch. So
Yes.
how are we going to be paying for this game? Are we going to be forking over on a monthly basis? Are we going to be buy and play? It's kind of like how do we think that Blizzard's going to implement this? And we both been thinking about it, and some other people have asked us to talk about this already. So hopefully
Mm-hmm.
you're listening up right now. And let's just go through some of the pay models and discuss maybe how it could apply to Overwatch or whether it even would be maybe good for Overwatch in the future. So let's start off right away with free to play. It seems to be kind of like all the rage. A lot of dying MMOs fall into free to play,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, Mech Warrior. I was talking to my wife earlier about Mech Warrior and how it was free to play and how I was upset because they took. I was in the closed beta for it, and they took a lot of the stuff I really enjoyed and then threw it behind a paywall, and I got really upset and stopped playing it. So, with free to play, what do you think would play out in Overwatch? Do you think that would be a feasible option for them?
Well, why don't we kind of go back a little bit and kind of focus on the history of free to play? I mean, especially in this newfangled world that we have that is free to play nowadays.
Okay.
Think of the major free to play titles that Blizzard has right now. We have Hearthstone and we have Heroes of the Storm.
Yeah.
Okay, so of course their revenue generating models are for Hearthstone card packs, and for Heroes of the Storm, obviously buying new heroes, buying experience boosts or stim packs, and then skins or cosmetics.
Yep.
Of course, League of Legends was kind of one of the major pioneers behind this, or at least one of the very first successful
Yeah, it made it
free to
successful.
play
Yeah.
pay models, which now it's the most played game in the world. Period.
Yep.
Not biggest played free to play game, not biggest MOBA, biggest game. Period.
Just biggest period. Yeah. All caps.
Exactly. I mean, there's no denying it. Over 30 million people play daily. So, um, what I would see if Blizzard decided to go with this kind of model, I think they would emulate it very closely with, say, Heroes of the Storm, where they would have cosmetic hero skins or weapon skins or things of that nature to generate revenue,
Hmm.
which I don't see as necessarily a bad thing or not necessarily a good thing either, because at that point, too, what they would likely do is kind of do a hero rotation where you would have to buy the heroes as well, either through some sort of in-game currency that you
Hmm.
earn or with cash. Me, of course, being the freaking OCD person I am, I'm gonna buy all the characters I want right off the bat. So I'm like, oh wait, I just spent like $130.
Yeah, that was like me with heroes. I jumped in right away and was like, I want this character and this character and I want this skin and this skin right now.
Yep, and I want this animation, and I want to be able to play on this map, and
Throw the
like
money. Boom, boom, boom.
I don't see it. I don't see it not going that way, and I'll tell you why. Because Heroes is seeing a lot of success with it right now. I know it's a MOBA, it's not an FPS, but let's look at the game that Overwatch is being most closely compared to right now, which is Team Fortress 2.
TFT.
Um, TF2 did not start off as a free-to-play game, for one.
That's correct.
Most people don't know that, which I have no idea why. Holy crap, know your history. You need you need a solid base in order to make any kind of game successful, right?
Hmm.
Team Fortress 2 did not have. Okay, I'll recant that a little bit. Team Fortress 2 did have a very dedicated base when it first came out, when it was still a retail price release. I know it wasn't full retail, but you still had to buy to get in.
Yep. You had
Now,
that gateway.
now when Team Fortress 2 eventually went free to play and they did all the, excuse me, did all of the, the items and all that you could find throughout matches, and then if you wanted to, you could turn around, sell it on the Steam marketplace and make money playing the game. Now, I don't see I don't see Blizzard doing any of that whatsoever, and I'll tell you exactly why. Diablo 3 Real Money Auction House. Enough
Okay.
said. That thing failed so miserably they took it completely out and didn't even want to deal with it. So I don't see it going the Team Fortress 2 route where it's free and you can find these items and you can sell or you can buy them or things of that nature. I see it going more of like a League of Legends or a Heroes of the Storm route should Blizzard decide to go with the free-to-play model.
I agree with you, especially on that last point. Yeah, I think that'd be true. And now, like you were talking about, comparing it back to something like Heroes, I'm just going to throw in our talk about things like cosmetic items, cosmetic
Hmm.
skins, and things like that. I know that's a big money maker, and especially with Heroes, because they just announced even more this week, different skins and mounts and things like that, of course. And I was just like, just take my money. I know I'm going to buy this, right away. It's just
Yeah.
pixels, but I'm going to buy it. And the only thing I see with holding them back with Overwatch is some of the comments they make about how they want this to be like iconic heroes, iconic comic book heroes, and things like that. And the only I wonder if they'll be a little resistant, I guess that'd be the best way to
Hmm.
say it, of changing some of the identity. Like, could you imagine a tracer that had green or something like that? So
Oh,
it's
dude.
it's yeah, that would be really awesome.
A green tracer or like a white Widowmaker.
There you go. Yeah.
Oh,
Now see how awesome that would be, but at the same time, it's like having I don't know, a all black Superman. Well, we have all like the movie, I guess.
I was
This
about
is
to say,
But
dude,
wait a
that's already
second.
happened.
Wait a second. I just came up with
Backtrack, backtrack,
what
backtrack.
a novel idea, right? No, I'm just kidding. But you get what I'm saying. Like you wouldn't identify like the comic book Superman with the movie Superman or something.
Right.
Or GI Joe is where I always would look at it in the movie world, I guess, because I grew up playing with GI Joe, and they were all like completely unique, iconic. And then when the GI
Hmm.
Joe movie comes out, they all were the same thing, and I'm like, what is this? They don't look anything like they used to. So I wonder if they stick to that, and that was just early comments about the game. So their philosophy might change, of course,
Hmm.
and I wonder if that might be their only sticking point. But if they're going to make a lot of money off of it, I don't know how much of a sticking point it might be either, too, because you kind of butt up against story, 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 or money, money. You got to kind of balance those two all the time as a gaming company.
Well, Blizzard has a very, very impressive track record with storytelling.
Hmm.
So I have a feeling that that's not going to be an issue for them whatsoever.
There you go. Let's go on to the next model then. How about buy to play?
So when we're looking at buy to play, um, we're going to, of course, reference what has been successful in the buy to play market. So the one I want to kind of go into first is I know people might be put off by this, but Guild Wars 2.
Oh,
Okay, stay with me here. All right. Guild Wars 2 had a phenomenal launch. Okay. It was a fantastic IP that ArenaNet put out. It was buy to play, of course. You
hmm.
paid your $60, you were in, you didn't have to pay a subscription, you were good. So there's two ways you could do buy to play. You can either have them, pay the retail for the full release. You don't have to pay a subscription, and they can keep the revenue going off that, releasing new content to get new people to buy the game. Another thing that ArenaNet did, which I don't like, I honestly do not know if other games have done this, so I'm only going to reference Guild Wars 2 here, is they also had a cash shop as well for other like cosmetic items, for small boosts here and there. So I can see the success in that if Blizzard kept up with original content.
Hmm.
If they kept pushing new content every month or two. The problem where Guild Wars failed on that model was you got to end game, that was it.
Yeah, you just
And
stalled out.
you sat there grinding dungeons, trying to do it faster and faster for literally nothing.
Yep.
So it Blizzard would have to be very careful, and they would have to have a very well thought out timeline pre and post release to go successfully into a buy to play model. Now that doesn't say that we go 2-3 months without anything and it still not be successful. I mean, it's Blizzard's first new IP in 14 freaking years. You know how many Blizzard fans are out there?
Millions.
I mean, come release day, Blizzard could probably not even give jack crap about Overwatch anymore and still have made way more than they've invested.
That is very true. Now, another thing that came up because, Activision, Blizzard, Call of Duty, what about things like Season Pass, DLC maps?
Oh, kill yourself.
I know that was exactly my reaction.
If that happens, and I know Blizzard isn't stupid enough to let that happen, but if
Please.
it happens, this is a Blizzard product, okay? This is a Blizzard IP. As far as I know, Activision has nothing to do with this.
I don't think they do either. No.
If Activision gets their dirty little hands on this and influences the people of Blizzard, hey, you should do a season pass so people get to see all the new content early, and they get these special weapons that they can only use because they paid the extra $40. No.
No. Please no.
No. I'm sorry, but Overwatch will fail.
I play so many first-person shooters that, of course, offer the season pass or DLC pack, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Instantly turns me off if I see that kind of thing. I'll play the game still, but I'm like, I'm done. Once I'm done, I'm done. I'd be so upset if, they got pressured into doing something like that. I wouldn't mind a buy to play, honestly, if I could just buy in the game and just play it. I think that would be what I kind of would like.
Here's the thing with me, too. I have no problem with DLC as long as it doesn't gate players. Now, what I mean by gating players, for those of you who might not know what it is, say they release a map pack as a DLC. That's going to gate people. That's going to keep people who own the DLC and people who don't own the DLC from playing with each other because, well, now they can't play on the same maps because person A owns the map but person B doesn't.
Yep.
Now they're not going to be able to play together. If the DLC gates players, that will kill the game. That's what killed a lot of Call of Duty games.
Yep.
That's why, Modern Warfare 3?
Yeah.
Just completely crap the can.
It just gave out, yeah.
Yeah, it gave out. Black Ops 2, same exact problem.
That happened with Battlefield 3 for me. That was the big game where I really noticed that because they came out with the new maps and everything pretty quickly, and it was instantly like, oh, you can't join any servers now. You get to still play on just these maps. You're stuck. And guess how many people are playing on those maps? None. You would go into a game and it would be 3 people, and the game would just end because there was nobody else to join. And it was just ridiculous. And yeah, that was no fun. No bueno.
It's
no bueno.
literally that would literally force people to pay extra to play the full game.
Yep.
And thank God Blizzard hasn't done that at all with any of their games. I mean, even with Legacy of the Void coming out, that's going to be an expand-alone.
Yes.
You don't need StarCraft to play that. You don't need Heart of the Swarm to play that. You could just buy Legacy of the Void, and bam.
What a great decision.
Game industry, hello. Listen, watch what Blizzard's doing, emulate that, and you too can turn into this giant titan of a freaking industry or company. Hi.
Yeah. I honestly don't think that Blizzard would go down that path, though. I think, like we've said, they know better. And they know better than that. And like we said, like you made the point of they're pretty independent. So we'll just pray that we're correct.
I honestly don't see that happening whatsoever. But on the 0.0001% chance that it does, I guarantee you Blizzard already knows that will kill the game, so they won't even consider it.
Exactly. And let's go down the last road, which is a subscription-based pay model. Now, subscription is, I think it's kind of a dying thing. I mean, WoW is like that relic that's holding on, and we saw how many subs they lost just in the last quarter.
Right. I actually see subscription being viable on a very, very thin line here. Of course, people who don't know what subscription is, it could either be released as, you can download it for free, but you have to pay your monthly subscription, or you can buy the game and then you pay a monthly subscription. You get the first 30 days free, whatever. Um, I see it being successful with this specific title if it's not 15.99 a month. I
Yeah,
think that would be a little high for an FPS.
yeah.
I don't think there are any FPS games that are actually on a subscription model right now,
I can't think of any at all. I tried to think of
unless
some.
unless you count season passes. I
Yeah.
mean, but we won't get into that.
It's just
But
toxic.
when you look at it, when you really look at it, it's not necessarily an unviable way to have a structured pay model. I mean, this way you can have everything like cosmetics and all of that be unlocks, right?
Yep.
Kind of like extra character progression. And with that steady flow of income, it can drive content creation a lot better. Now, am I saying that subscription is going to be the best way to go about this? No, not in the slightest. I personally believe that a free-to-play model with, the cash shop is going to get people to spend more money on the game, for
Yeah.
one. And two, it's going to make it a lot more accessible, which I know the people at Blizzard, that is what they are focusing on with Overwatch, is making this game as accessible to as many people as possible. So, with that being said, I think that free to play is going to be the way to go for them. And I think that that's what they're gearing towards, especially with the success that they've seen from Hearthstone and now in more recent months, Heroes of the Storm.
Yes. I tend to agree with you that free to play, especially with their motivation to get the game into the hands of as many people as they can, would be definitely probably their top option, and buy to play right up there, just because that's kind of just the market of gaming in general. I mean, not
Hmm.
you know you know what I mean. And subscription, they just like you said, you made the exact same point that I could think of. You walk too fine of a line of, am I charging too much? Am I charging too little? Where is that teetering point in a world of uncertainty that you don't know where the market's going to be six
Right.
months after you release the game? And it's just, I think it'd be just too unstable of a tipping point to be on. And I don't think Blizzard would walk that path. But with the free to play, like you said, getting it out there, just I was making the remark on our other podcast this week on the Worgen's Howl about Hearthstone and how it just went mobile. All of these mobile devices
Oh
now have
man.
it. Just imagine how
Oh,
many people have that in their hand now.
I don't even play Hearthstone, and I find myself on my lunch breaks at work playing Hearthstone on my Android, just going, I have no idea what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But if we look at the history of Blizzard games,
Hmm.
right? Every game back all the way like the Lost Vikings
Yeah.
era has been buy to play. You buy the game, you get the product, cool. I mean, Warcraft 1, Warcraft 2, StarCraft 1, StarCraft 2, Warcraft 3, Warcraft 1 and 2, and then all
Yep.
the expansions. They've done a very good job at buy to play games. Okay? Like, and with Legacy of the Void, going to be awesome. World of Warcraft, buy to play with a subscription.
Yep.
Absolutely amazing. And then you look at their last two titles, Hearthstone and Heroes of the Storm. They went free to play, and I haven't seen the exact numbers, but I know the amount of money they're making on it is absolutely absurd because let's face it, it's Blizzard and Blizzard is love, Blizzard is life.
Yes.
So I could see it going either subscription or free to play. If they go subscription, they have to walk a very, very fine line. I mean, you got to put out enough content to keep people renewing their subscriptions. Free to play, hello, you get the game for free. I mean, myself, people who know me, I'm a big League of Legends player.
Hmm.
Not so much today. I'm getting a little more into Heroes, but I've spent well over You're probably gonna want to reach through the computer screen and slap me. I've spent well over 2 grand on League of Legends over the past 5 years. Well over that because I absolutely love the game and I love supporting the developers that make awesome content. Overwatch, uh, I guarantee you there's people who are going to be dropping hundreds of dollars on this game on release day. If
Oh
it's free
yeah.
to play and you have a cash shop for skins and
Oh
all
yeah.
that, I know I'm probably going to drop well over 150 on the first day.
Yep.
No shame.
I would
Hell,
drop a lot of money.
I love my cosmetics.
That was like the first thing I did in the beta, like for heroes. Whenever they do a wipe, next day I'm just like, buy, buy, buy. You know, I've wanted this too. Buy, buy, buy. You know,
Hmm.
and it just works. It works that way, and no shame at all to me. And it, off a little bit of the track into like a weird hybrid game that I play, just that I was thinking of before the show. I actually play iRacing. I don't know if you're familiar with that or anybody else is, but it's like an online simulation racing game, and it has a weird model because you actually subscribe. I'm cuckoo, yeah, totally cuckoo. But you pay a subscription and then you pay for content, which it's crazy when you look at how much money I probably just spent, buying cars and tracks. But they have tons of subscribers and it works for them. It's a very unique market. I don't think it'd ever work with this. That hybrid like subscribe and buy content. It's kind of weird. I don't. It doesn't even really apply to Overwatch, but it'd be an interesting model maybe for other games. So there
Sounds
you
like Call
go.
of Duty with a subscription model.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, exactly. So there's the models. We don't know what we'll see, but go ahead and leave us a comment, tweet us, let us know what you think. What are your if you disagree with us, if you agree with us, if you want to fight with us, just let us know. We're ready.
Fight me IRL. Let's
Come
go,
at me,
guys.
come at me, bro.
Come at me, keyboard crusaders. Let's do it.
All right, that's right. All right, and then that is going to end our topics for the week. So we have only a couple more things left to go over.
Right, so that's going to bring us into our hero of the week. Oh, man. This our hero of the week. Oh man, I just couldn't Hanzo, okay? So, we're going to go into Hanzo a little bit, all right? So, his real name Shimada Hanzo. He's a 38-year-old mercenary, I believe, from Japan. A little bit on his backstory. Uh, he was part of the Shimada family, who was centuries old clan of assassins who basically made their way in crime, pushing illegal substances, being hired as mercenaries, and Hanzo was, I believe he was the eldest son, correct?
Yes, I believe so. If I
So
remember right, reading the bio.
right, so he was basically bred to take his father's place when his father eventually died. And then when that happened, he was all set to take over, and then all the elders were trying to get him to pressure his younger sibling to kind of also fall in line, and Hanzo wouldn't have any of that, so he left and
In
kind of
his own way.
just kind of went off on his own way. Now he's trying to reclaim his honor. And the reason why I kind of shake my head at Hanzo is not that he's bad, not that his kit is disgusting, but mostly because it's not my style of play. I mean, from what I can see, we'll just go over his abilities real quick.
Okay.
So his first ability, or his, I guess you could say his auto, his standard ability is his Stormbow, or his weapon. So he knocks an arrow and fires it. Fires, I want to say around maybe every second and a half. Of course, it's a single shot. The longer you hold it, the further and straighter it's going to fly. He's got his scatter arrow, which he knocks, 3 arrows and it bounces everywhere.
Yep.
And it will basically hit and murder anything in its path. But of course, it can only bounce so many times.
Yeah.
Then you have another cool thing. You have one cool thing. I think like his saving grace would be the sonic arrow.
Yes.
It's on a pretty long cooldown, but it will basically create a sonar, and it'll reveal the location of any enemies in an area, whether it's behind or through a wall or above, below. I think that's going to be really, really cool if it's used properly. And then, of course, his ultimate ability is going to be the Dragon Strike, which is just straight frontal, blow your mind face with damage. Just twin dragons come out and swirl, and it's just this massive damage. In
Double dragon. That's what I
double
call it.
dragon. And I can tell, and I know just from watching and seeing all the content out there that Blizzard themselves is having like a really tough time with Dragon Strike trying to balance it out properly because
Yeah.
you see in some things where it does like no damage and all of a sudden Hanzo's just useless with his ult, and then other times where it just completely wipes the enemy team. It's just like, huh,
Yeah.
okay then.
It is kind of hit and miss, and especially like if it's hit, it is definitely a huge hit.
Hmm.
Just like in the video that I've got playing here, you'll see it just eliminates basically an entire team in one foul swoop essentially, and just yeah, it get a little bit OP, I guess. A little bit of balancing will have to get done there. It'll be interesting to see how they balance some of that out too. So
Yeah, the reason why I kind of shirk a little bit at Hanzo is his play. Like he's very agile. He can climb walls and he can scale things really quickly, and he can gain an aerial advantage or an altitude advantage relatively quickly. My one gripe with this hero is that he's very high risk.
yeah.
He's high risk, high reward. He reminds me of a freaking Shaco in League of Legends or a Nova in Heroes of the Storm. I know I reference MOBAs. Leave me the hell alone. My history comes from there. So, there you have it. So,
I agree with you, high risk, because I play one of my third character in Heroes is Nova, and
mhm.
it is high risk because you jump out there and you're gonna get wiped off the map if you don't do your job. And yeah, more often than not, I think with Nova I get wiped off the map. But
Precisely. So, a good Hanzo player can win you the game. A bad Hanzo player will lose you the game. The
yep.
game will hinge on you. Like if you're not doing well as Hanzo, say you're in a medium range fight, like if it's a Hanzo versus a Tracer, Tracer sprays and can hit you. You miss a single arrow, Tracer's got a good second and a half of free damage on you.
Yep, she's got that rapid fire, so
I mean, and it's don't get me wrong, if you land that arrow, and especially if you hit her head, she's done. She's going to go down and she's going to drop before you even know it.
hmm
But you miss that arrow or you hit a leg. It's not going to do much. So, like I said, a good Hanzo player who can consistently land their shots, gain their positional advantage on a consistent basis, and take objectives with relative ease will win a game, hands down. But you make even the slightest mistake, like that's where I think Blizzard could possibly fail with this hero, is making him missing way too punishing.
hmm
So
too big of a penalty.
yeah. I mean, maybe if he could fire, maybe tone down his damage on his arrow a little bit and make it so where he could fire faster. I don't know. I'm not, I'm not Blizzard. I'm not on the dev team, and I'm sure they've probably played around with that idea. I want to say for at least the 35th time now. So,
Well, if
so
we're seeing it, they're probably tweaking it behind the doors. So I would hope so.
I mean, they've been working on this project for a completely undisclosed amount of time. So we don't know how much work they've done on it. We just know that they've done their homework.
Exactly.
So hopefully they don't screw up too bad, or if they do, they fix it.
I think they will. The one thing is balancing is always a tricky thing. At least, you know, we're kind of at that stage where they can balance and balance and balance internally,
Mhm.
and hopefully when we get it, it's close enough to where we don't have to deal with patch after patch of this is the flavor of the month character. This person's going to kill you if they're on the other team, or you're on a knife's edge with this player, and
Mhm.
hopefully Hanzo doesn't fall into that trap like you identified there.
Hopefully he doesn't. I see Blizzard, even if it does happen, that being fixed relatively quickly.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's not my style of play at all, but people are going to play him.
Oh yeah, people are
And
gonna play.
heaven forbid, come day one, he's on my team, and I just shirk, and I'm just like, oh,
Hanzo, why? Or
why?
day one somehow some Hanzo player like dominates you, and you're gonna be like,
Well, then I'll just be cursing up a storm, and you'll probably be on Skype listening to me going like, oh my gosh, I didn't know such vulgarities could come out of any person's mouth.
I'm like, oh, just laying in the corner, traumatized.
Right? Oh, man.
Well, that brings us to the last thing we want to talk about, which is, as always, make sure you get your beta profile updated because Fall 2015, of course, is still the beta time, and if you're not ready and registered saying I want to be, if you don't have your hand up already, you're not getting in. You got both your hands up.
Please, Blizzard gods.
How many battle.net accounts do you got? Just kidding.
I'm not at liberty to discuss that.
Increase your pool with 500 battle.net accounts. Not endorsing that.
Don't do it, guys. It's not worth it.
Probably not the best idea. Anyway,
It's a terrible idea. Don't do it.
now that brings us, it looks like, looking at the time, to the end of the show. So just remember, whatever you thought about the show today, leave the comments below here on our YouTube channel, as you'll see where the video is posted there. Also, throw some tweets over at OverCast Show. And also at the bottom of the screen, you'll see our Twitter handles as well, at FrostyFox here, and Chris over at Matrix Overwatch. So if you like us, if you don't like us, if you don't like my hat, if you don't like his headphones when he goes wireless, I don't know. Whatever you don't like or like, let us know. If you got any topics you want us to discuss on the next show, definitely just hit us up and we will get right on that. We will be back on the air in the next couple weeks. We will be announcing that, of course, via Twitter, via our blog page, and however else we can reach you. And hopefully we'll be on our brand new shiny Twitch channel.
Shiny, love the shinies.
Yes.
And as always, too, a big thanks to Frozen Fox Radio for hosting us. It's always a pleasure getting to work with them, and I look forward to working with them very closely here in the future.
Exactly. We are so excited to be a part of this huge network of friends and family podcasts, and we'll be hopefully expanding into the future as time goes on. So thank you very much for joining Overcast Episode 5. It has been fantastic. This is Frosty.
And I'm Chris.
And we shall see you next time. Thank you for listening and watching,
Stay
I guess.
awesome. And watching.
Yes.